today is one more reflections on a book that I read, and today I will do the reflection on the 12-week year. And I took a lot of notes from this book. There are so many great thoughts and perspectives that the writers share. So I will not spend too much time, and I will go right away into the quotes and lessons that I gather from this book. So chapter 12, so this is part 2, and the chapter 12 starts the execution system. The 12-week year builds on foundation of 3 principles. These three principles are accountability. Accountability is ultimately ownership. What more can I do to get results? Because a lot of times people think that accountability is consequence. So if something doesn't do things well, they say, we need to keep that person accountable. But no, accountability is personal ownership of the commitment. Now, second is commitment. Commitment is a personal promise that you make to yourself. Keeping your promises to others builds stronger relationships, and keeping promises to yourself builds character, self-esteem, and success. Commitment is accountability projected into the future. I love that. Commitment is accountability projected into the future. That means you commit and you're accountable for your commitment. Then third one, greatness is the moment in the moment. Greatness is greatness in the moment. The results are not the attainment of greatness, but simply confirmation of it. I really love it. A lot of times people believe that when someone is wins a gold medal, that then they become great. No, they already been great because of the training that they performed, and when they win the gold medal, then it's a confirmation of their greatness. Top performers are great not because their ideas are better, but because their execution disciplines are better. These 5 disciplines. First, vision. A compelling vision creates a clear picture of the future. Second, planning. An effective plan clarifies and focuses on the top priority initiatives and actions needed to achieve the vision. 3. Process control. Process control consists of a set of tools and events that align your daily actions with the critical actions in your plan. Number 4, measurement. Measurement drives the process. What is not measured is not get improved. Time use. If you are not in control of your time, then you are not in control of your results. I really love that. That means if you want to have control of your results, you need to take control of your time. Whenever we decide to make a change in our lives, we experience an emotional roller coaster. The emotional cycle of change. There are 5 stages that people move through emotionally when changing their behavior. First one, uninformed optimism. So that means that a lot of times when we want to change, a lot of times we are very, very optimistic about the change, but we do not know how that will look like. So that is uninformed optimism. Second step is informed pessimism. That means that when you start doing something, you realize that it's much, much more hard than you have thought about it. So that means that you inform now about it, but now you became pessimistic about it because it doesn't go as fast as you thought. Now, number 3 is valley of despair. That means that you are at the lowest. You don't know if that was a good choice to start changing yourself because it's much more difficult, and you will have to go back where you started. But if you persevere, then you go to the number 4 level is informed optimism. Now we realize that it's even though that is very difficult, you are optimistic about it and you are able to move forward through tough days to achieve the desired result. And number 5 is success and fulfillment. So that means you persevere and you get the results that you're looking for. You can have the best software money can buy, but if your operating system is not working, those programs are worthless. So that means in our mind as well, we have an operating system, and you could potentially bring the best software for that, but if you don't have operating system that is the newest, all the newest software will not work. I really love that. Now, chapter 13, establish your vision. To help you stay on track, you will need a powerful reason why, and that's your vision. Impossible, and then it shares how to move into success. So that means that impossible, and then if you think that something is impossible, now you need to ask yourself, what if? And when that if could bring you to other question. So if you understand that it's possible, then you can, how might I? So that means, okay, you start asking how that could be done. And then when you understand that there's a lot of different ways how you can achieve it, then you move to probable. And then when you move from probable, then you and start acting on it, then and take persistence, consistency into it, then it's a given, able to achieve whatever you want. It is your personal vision that keeps you in the game when things become difficult. There are 3 time horizons that you will want to focus your vision on. First one, long-term aspirations. Second, mid-term goals about 3 years into the future. And 3 is 12 weeks. First, inspirational vision. So that is long-term aspirations. So what is most important to you physically, spiritually, mentally, relationally, financially, professionally, and personally? Construct a vision for your life for 5, 10, and 15 years into the future. Second, 3-year vision. Based on your long-term vision, what do you want to create over the next 3 years? Vision is the starting point of all your high performance. Common pitfalls of this. You don't take the power of vision seriously. The vision isn't meaningful to you. Your vision is too small. You don't connect your vision to your daily actions. And success tips. Share it with others. Stay in touch with with your vision. Live with intention. Chapter 14. Develop your 12-week plan. We can get impatient and want to get on with things too quickly. So everything in life requires patience, and I really love saying that we need to have aggressive patience, aggressive with your actions and patient with results. Living your life in the moment, however, can be done in 2 very different ways, either reactively or proactively. A lot of times people live reactively, so that means that everything pops up to them and it becomes very urgent and they just jump on it and do it. But if you really design your life, then you're able to proactively build your life. There are 5 criteria that will help you create a better 12-week plan when you are writing goals and tactics. So criteria 1, make them specific and measurable. Criteria 2, state them positively. Criteria 3, ensure they are realistic stretch. Number 4, criteria 4, assign accountability. And criteria 5, be time bound. A good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. G. Payton. I really love it because a lot of times people tend to have perfectionism in there, and I'm guilty of that as well. So it's better to work on good plan and not to perfect it. Before you put your plan down, ask yourself these questions. What actions will you struggle with? And second question, what will you do to overcome those struggles? Common pitfalls. Your 12-week plan does not align with your long-term vision. Second, you aren't staying focused. Number 3, you don't make the tough choices. If you can accomplish the goal, you don't make the tough choices. So this is an explanation of that. So if you can accomplish the goal with 4 tactics, then you don't need the 5th one. Brainstorm all the tactics you can and then select the critical few. Number 4, you don't keep it simple. If you feel like it's getting too complicated, probably is. And number 5, you don't make it meaningful. Chapter 15, installing process control. Your chances of success are 7 times greater if you employ peer support. The weekly routine consists of 3 simple yet powerful steps. First one, score your week. Second, plan your week. And third, participate in a weekly accountability meeting. Common pitfalls of installing process control. You don't plan each week. You have no time for it. You don't need it. You are above it. You already know it. You don't want to be accountable. Second, you include all your tasks. 3, you assume that each week is the same. Number 4, you add tactics weekly. Number 5, you don't use it to guide your day. You don't use it to guide your day. Number 6, you don't make it part of your routine. Chapter 16, keeping score. Without measurement, there is no way for you to know if you are making progress. Without measurement, there is no way for you to know what adjustments would be productive. Measurement is very, very important. Common pitfalls. You think that measurement is complicated and unimportant. You don't schedule a block of time each week to assess your progress. You abandon the system when you don't score well. 4 tips. Review your weekly score with a buddy, a small group of peers each week. Commit to make progress each week. Remember that a weekly score of less than 85% isn't necessarily bad. Don't be afraid to confront Number 4, don't be afraid to confront what your numbers are telling you. An explanation: if you are unwilling to confront reality, then you will never able to change it. And the third one was like, remember that weekly score less of 80%, 85%, not necessarily bad. That means that if you every week track and you are 60, then 61, 62, and then you're always improving, of course that is very, very positive thing. Chapter 17, take back control of your day. What most often keeps you from being exceptional is not lack of time, but the way you allocate the time that you have. The choices that you make on how you spend your time ultimately create your results in life. Most people make choices that increase their short-term benefits and minimize their short-term costs. That means that we're supposed to increase our long-term benefits, not short-term benefits, without thinking about short-term benefits. Of course, it's nice to have that short-term benefit, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure that first thing is long-term benefits. The number one thing you will need to sacrifice is your comfort. You will have to choose to spend time on the difficult things that create your biggest payoffs. So that means when you think about all the activities, we need to start activities that brings the biggest payoffs, and a lot of times those will be the most difficult ones. To be clear on what matters most, and then to have courage to say no to things that distract you. Distractions is one of the worst things when you think about achieving results, because sometimes a lot of times we have planned, but we are not able to say no to distractions. To be your best, you must intentionally align your time and activities with your strengths and your unique abilities. A lot of times we compare to others, and some people are able to do exactly the same thing, but because they have strengths and different abilities, they're able to perform better or worse. The important things will get done only if you allocate time to them. One of the building blocks of your success is the ability to spend time on what matters the most. I was sharing a lesson in the past that people are getting too good at things that do not matter, so we really need to understand what matters the most and allocate time to them. Then there is blocks that you're supposed to allocate every single week. So one is strategic blocks. So second is buffer blocks, and third one is breakout blocks. So for strategic blocks, you need to allocate 3 hours in length when you work on your business. For buffer blocks, you need to have 1 or 2 times a day from 30 to 60 minutes. And breakout blocks once a month, 3 hours to prevent burnout. In order to allocate your time effectively, it's helpful to create a picture of a highly productive week, a model work week. The model week doesn't try to eliminate low-value activities from your week. Instead, you will carve out time each week to focus on your high-value, high-payoff activities. So that means that every week you want to make sure that you start the week by putting the most important things in your schedule, and then you play everything else around it. And now it's crucial that you construct a week that works on paper before trying to execute it. If you can get it work on paper, then there is no way it will work in actual practice. I used to work on that very, very hardly. I used to build my perfect week, but it used to be too complicated, and I was not able to put on paper, and that's why I was not able to execute. So it's very, very important to make it your schedule on paper first before going to execute in real life. The time that could be spent building their own future is instead spent on building someone else. So that means, where do you spend your time? A lot of times when you think about our schedule, a lot of times is that schedule allocated to other people's goals, not yourself. Common pitfalls. You conduct business as usual. So that means you don't follow your plan. You don't focus on one thing at a time in your strategic block. So that means when you allocate 3 hours to work on a strategic thing, you need to focus on one thing at a time, because a lot of times people focus on 5 things at once. You allow distractions to steal your attention. That's very important, because it takes 15 minutes to get in a flow, and if you get distracted every half an hour, you lose a lot of time. You think being busy is the same as being productive, and that's a huge difference. Tips: work from a written weekly plan. Input your model week into your calendar. Chapter 18, taking ownership. We have all heard stories of people who refuse to take responsibility for their actions and blame others for their failures. So that means you need to take responsibility of your actions and blame yourself if you're not able to achieve it. Taking ownership means that you stop looking after yourself. Chapter 18. 4 things you can do to foster greater accountability. Number 1, resolve never to be a victim again. Accountability is the first mindset, then action. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Third one, be willing to take different actions. 4, associate with accountable. That means there's a lot of accountable people, and you need to associate with people who are accountable. The quality of your choices determines the quality of your life. People deliver on what they own. Common pitfalls. You continue to view accountability as consequences. Accountability is not consequence, is ownership. You look outside yourself. Tips: acknowledge reality and focus on what you can control. The only things you control are your thinking and your actions. Chapter 19, 12-week commitments. A commitment is a conscious decision to take specific action to create desired result. Commitment, the state of being bound emotionally or intellectually to some course of action. A personal commitment is a promise you make with yourself to state a specific actions. Commitment to others, not following through on your commitments, destroys relationships and contributes to failure and self-esteem issues. Key steps to keeping your promises with others: a strong desire to keep your word, count the costs of not going through, act on your promises, take commitment mindset. The commitment mindset is to choose pleasurable results over pleasurable activities. That is very, very strong. A lot of times, activities that you do is not pleasurable, but results is very pleasurable. Exactly the same in the gym. A lot of times people hate going to a gym, but they love seeing themselves in a mirror when they see results. Pitfalls. You miss a commitment once and give up. You fail to confront missed commitments. You do not value your word. Tips: don't overcommit. Go public with your commitments and buddy up. 20th chapter, your first 12 weeks. Given a choice, people choose immediate and certain short-term comfort over potential long-term benefits almost every time, unless there is a compelling reason to choose otherwise. There is a great book. I was running very fast for all the lessons, but I highly recommend you take by yourself and really read it, because I found it a lot of great lessons there, and I think that everyone could learn a lot from this book. I hope you will enjoy the lesson, and I hope to see you soon.